Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Kelvin, and today we're going to talk about buying scuba diving gear on a budget. Yeah, you might be thinking, is it possible to buy good quality diving gear on a small budget without having to break the bank or lose your right hand just to make that happen? Because it can be quite expensive. Thanks to places like Marketplace and Gumtree, it's definitely possible. And if you know what you're looking for, you can definitely make it happen. Buying brand new gear can be quite expensive, like a BCD, a tank, regulators, fins, mask, wetsuit, all that sort of stuff. It can be quite expensive. Like for example, looking at a brand new BCD, you're looking towards $500 to $1,000 depending on the brand and what year model it is, and it can get sometimes even more than $1,000, up to $2,000. Brand new regulator setup, you're looking at $700 to $1,500, sometimes even more. Once again, tanks, they can vary from $400 to $600. They're pretty stagnant in the price, and they do get different size tanks, but you only need a 12-liter tank. You don't really need anything more, especially as a beginner diver. It's a huge investment for someone who's just trying to get into the sport, and a lot of people hate me for saying this, but you just don't need the best equipment, the newest equipment, the state-of-the-art equipment to go scuba diving. And there is good quality equipment that you can get for secondhand. It's just you need to know what you're looking for. But if you do look on Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree and stuff like that, you often find diving gear bundles for like a fraction of the price. You can buy regulators. Someone's just got a full setup and they just want a new regulator. They might sell the regulator because they want the new fancy state-of-the-art regulator, and you can get a good deal there. Same with BCD, same with mask, fins, all that sort of stuff. Sometimes people just quit diving. They take up the sport, they buy all this expensive equipment, and then they quit. They realize they're not into it and they don't dive. So they get rid of all their gear online for cheap, and you can find some really good deals. There is a catch to buying secondhand gear though, because sometimes it might look really good, but in reality it's out of date. The tanks are out of testing date, and yeah, you really need to know what you're looking at when you're buying secondhand deal. But there is good deals out there for sure, and I'm here to show you. So I have a few tips for buying secondhand gear and what to look for. So first of all, you want to check the service history, because sometimes people have never even got their gear serviced and it's just been sitting in a warehouse or in their garage, or they've been diving it for years, have never had it serviced. So that can be an issue as well. And if you can get it serviced, because if it is out of date, a lot of the times these dive companies, they don't want to even touch your gear. They want newer gear, they want in-date gear. Second thing is inspect for corrosion, cracks, tears like in your BCD and stuff like that. Like you might find a really good BCD, but it might have a nice little hole in the bottom and you can't even see it, but when you go to test it out, you're struggling to keep buoyant because all the bubbles are coming up to the surface. You lose all your air as well. And then yeah, if you got cracks on tanks, that's a big no-no. Like, do not buy it. With scuba diving tanks, they only last about 10 years, and then you can't get them serviced anymore. If you can't get them serviced anymore, a lot of dive companies won't even let you fill the tanks up at their shops. So unless you have your own compressor, there's no real way of really using them, and it is a risk. There has been situations where tanks have blown up when being filled. So with tanks, honestly, you're better off just buying them brand new. You're better off buying brand new tanks, because it's honestly, compared to the pricing of all the other gear, the tanks are relatively cheap for what they are. So just buy a new tank. That's in my opinion. And another thing, ask the seller questions. Ask the person that's selling you this gear online or on Marketplace and stuff like that, why they're selling it. A lot of times you'll find people that just quit diving and they don't need the gear anymore. Like for example, the BCD that I'm using in this example, the person bought thousands of dollars worth of diving gear and they just quit. They no longer dive, and the BCD I got is probably the steal of this little experiment. It's a really good deal. Okay, so for example, I got this BCD on Marketplace. The girl offered it for $150. This is a Dragon. I'll find the little brand thing for that. So there's it's called Dragon AT, and if you look on Google, you can just type in the brand, and the brand is Mares, and you can type in the type of BCD, and you're going to find all this information about this BCD. So brand new, you're looking at about $700 to $1,000 for this BCD. It's a really good BCD. Mares is very well used. A lot of dive instructors, instructing companies use this BCD. And yeah, it's got all the plastics on really good condition. You could almost say it's brand new. It smells brand new. It's out the box. It is really good. I was stoked on this thing when I first saw it, because for $150 for brand spanking new BCD, you can't go wrong. And yeah, you just really have to look. Don't just settle for anything. This thing is like, the plastic's still shiny. It's not faded. It's in really good nick. I can't find any tears, and it fits me really well. All the plastics, all the tubing works really good. So it's yeah, steal of the list, of what I would say. Yeah, it's a good deal. I'm stoked. So next on the list, we need something to breathe out of, and yeah, that would be the regulators. So it's another very costly thing that you can get, anywhere from $700 up to $1,500, sometimes even more, depending on the brand, year, model, blah blah blah. But we're here to do this with a budget, right? So once again, off Marketplace, I got this off another lady. So far I'm just buying off the ladies, but yeah, same thing. She's used to be a heavy diver when she was younger. She's in her 40s now, and she bought this pretty much just before she quit diving. She went for a road trip. That's another common thing. People go overseas, do a trip, do a dive trip, come back, never use the gear again. And it's been sitting in her garage ever since. And it's honestly, same deal as the BCD. The thing is pretty much brand new. So you're looking at a Scuba Pro. You can go online, look up the model, just like the BCD, and you can figure out what kind of regulator this is, and then do some research for yourself, get some pros and cons, and you'll find out this is a very good regulator. Like, you don't need anything better than this. You don't need a $2,000 titanium blah 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 regulator. You just need something that's not going to leak and is going to be reliable. And this is one of those regulators. Really good regulator. I've used it a few times, and it like, you just don't need more. You don't. It's that simple. All the hosing is in really good nick. It has a pressure gauge. No, doesn't have a computer. No built-in computer. But yeah, we'll talk about that a bit later. But for $150, that's a pretty damn good deal. And obviously you need your backup regulator, your second stage, but I've already got a few of those with my business, and I don't really need that. So skipping that, for $150, you can probably find a second stage for around $80 to $150 as well. So you're talking about $300 for a setup, or if you've already got one, let's just say $150. So far, all up, $300 for a BCD and some regs, and you're pretty much looking at 90% of what you need for $300. Not bad at all. And the next thing would be your dive computer. So I don't like the big bulky wrist dive computer. I'm just not a fan of it. I understand the practicality of being able to just like look at your wrist, but I just think they're hideous, and I'm just not a fan of them, to be honest. I want to spend most of my dive looking around and exploring. I don't want to just be looking at my computer every 2 minutes, and that's what I find people are doing that have these dive computers. But I like the built-in dive computers that connect to your actual tank, and this one I got online. It's an older computer, so it's the Mares AirLab Pro, but it does everything you need it to do. You don't need a fancy $2,000 watch. You just need something to check your depth, check how long you've been diving for, and something to remind you to do your safety stop on your way out. You don't need anything more. You just don't. People will tell you otherwise, but I'm not going nitrous diving. I'm not going 60, 70 meters deep. I'm just going for a casual dive on a reef or something like that. I don't need the best of the best. trying to look like Rambo. I just want to go diving. So yeah, this guy, it's a bit older. It's not the newest dive computer. I'd say it's a 2005 model, around something like that. I didn't actually look it up. I'm just going based off what I know. And yeah, so this thing here I got for $85. Bam, 85 bucks. You're talking $1,000 for a computer, and I got one for 85 bucks. And the guy that was selling them, he actually had two of them, and I didn't need two, but he said, look, if you want to, you can have two. And boom, now I've got two, so I've got a backup. So two dive computers for 80 bucks, 85 bucks. So steal. We're talking $385 so far for our setup. All we need is wetsuit, mask, fins. That's simple. It's really not, we're not far off from going scuba diving. So this one's a bit of a controversial one. Dive masks. Look, you can go to your dive stores and buy a brand new mask for like $250, $120, and your cheap dive mask probably about 80 bucks. Brand new at the dive store. So you can get decent price, but honestly, where are these masks being made? Ask yourself that question. They all get made in China. That's the reality. And people are gonna find this crazy, but I did this test for myself. I run a dive business, so I'm diving every single week. I've worked in diving stores, one of the biggest diving stores in Australia. I'm not gonna name them on here, but I've tested all different kinds of masks. And honestly, same thing, you don't need fancy masks. You don't need anything new, crazy technology. The masks have been around for a long time, and these Chinese manufacturers have sussed it out basically. They do pretty good masks for a cheap deal. So you can probably go on Temu. People are gonna say I'm crazy for this, right? But try it for yourself. You can go on Temu, you can go on AliExpress, all that sort of stuff, and you can find some good diving masks that are going to do the job. And you'll find that they're the same masks that you find in these scuba diving shops. The only difference is they put a little logo on the side. But yeah, so I got this thing. I know it's white, but it's not for me, it's for my partner. This dive mask, I just got it for a tester, just to test it out, just to see what these Chinese quality dive masks are like. And honestly, pretty damn good. Like, the silicone is what you would want to feel in a dive mask. It's very flexible, it's not hardy. It's a good quality mask. Tempered glass, it's not plastic, so you're not getting cheap shit. The number one thing I was concerned about was the clips, because these things tend to break. And honestly, this clip is really good. Like, I can be pretty rough on it. It's not gonna break on me. And I've had $250 Mares masks and stuff like that. I've had these fancy side button clip things that break on you, and they're plastic too. So why not get a cheap Chinese mask? This one, $9, cheap as chips. Comes with a little snorkel, and I honestly haven't even used this thing yet. But I say you need a snorkel in scuba diving, but let's not talk about that. Yeah, Flexi. Yeah, what you would want in a snorkel. You can change these mouthpieces, so you can take that off, get a different. They're the same thing. Same thing in a scuba diving shop. If I was in a scuba diving shop right now, I could grab you the same bloody. I'll put that on later because I'm gonna make myself look like an idiot doing it on the camera. But yeah, you can find the same quality sort of stuff in a scuba diving shop. It's all coming from China. That's the reality, people. People need to start understanding that. Everything's coming from China. Very flexy, looks like a good quality rubber. That's a good quality rubber. The mouthpiece, changeable. And yeah, the mask. Look, I've got a bit of a beard, not like a huge one, but a lot of the time people say you cannot seal a mask with having a beard. Like, when I was a dive instructor, that's what they used to tell me. Like, you gotta shave your beard or put Vaseline. It's a myth. I dive every day with my business, and I don't shave, and I get a seal every time. So I'll test this mask out and just show you that it has a good seal. I won't use the straps. So for, yeah, $9, pretty damn good. Honestly, not complaining. And you could probably even since it's so cheap, you could probably even buy 2 of these. Have a backup, put it in your BCD. So if something does go wrong, boom, you can just do your whole blowing the air out, all that nonsense, and trade your mask over, boom. Another thing is wetsuits. Once again, it's crazy. You can buy a brand spanking new wetsuit, Mares wetsuits, Bochet wetsuit, all these wetsuits for like $700 for a brand spanking new wetsuit. With my, I don't have a wetsuit here with me now, but with my commercial diving business, I'm scraping against barnacles all the time. I'm constantly going through wetsuits. I go through a new wetsuit probably every 3 months, especially in summer because the wetsuit's a little bit thinner, like a 3mm and stuff like that. So basically I bought a brand new Mares wetsuit for $50, online 5mm. Same thing, guy quit, doesn't dive anymore. And I've got a deal. Go look in the shop, you're looking $700 for the exact same wetsuit. What's wrong with the wetsuit? Nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So fins, same deal, cheap. It's just not, it's not something you have to spend thousands of dollars on. But yeah, if you're new into diving or you've been diving for many years and you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, give me a follow. I'm on a mission to buy a sailing boat and sail around the world through saving money through my diving business, and I'll be doing more videos as time goes on like this, where we do reviews on sailing gear, diving gear. Let me know in the comments if you've ever bought secondhand diving gear before, and I want to know what your experience is like, if it was a good experience or a bad experience. So far mine is, I'm stoked. I'm super happy with what I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Happy diving. Peace, love you, bye.